The Phantom Killer of Texarkana. The real story behind the Texarkana Moonlight Murders. The Texarkana Moonlight Murders refer to a series of brutal attacks and murders that occurred in the spring of 1946 in and around the border towns of Texarkana, Texas, and Texarkana, Arkansas. These crimes were attributed to an unidentified assailant later dubbed the Phantom Killer. The killer struck under the cover of darkness, often targeting young couples parked in secluded areas. There were a total of 8 known victims over 5 attacks, with 5 people killed and 3 others seriously injured. The attacks began on February 22, 1946, and continued sporadically until May of the same year. The first attack involved Jimmy Hollis and Mary Jean Leray, who were assaulted in a secluded area. Hollis was beaten with a blunt object, fracturing his skull, while Larry was sexually assaulted. Both survived the attack. Subsequent assaults became more violent, culminating in the deaths of some victims, such as Paul Martin and Betty Jo Booker, who were found brutally murdered near their car. This series of attacks gripped Texarkana in fear, leading to curfews, increased police patrols, and widespread panic. The murders inspired the 1976 cult horror film The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which dramatized the events, albeit with some fictionalized elements. Why the case remains unsolved, despite several suspects. Despite extensive investigations, the Phantom Killer was never identified. Several factors contributed to the case remaining unsolved. Lack of forensic technology. In 1946, forensic science was still in its infancy. Investigators lacked modern tools, like DNA analysis, which could have definitively linked a suspect to the crimes. Inconsistent witness testimony. Survivors of the attacks gave conflicting descriptions of the assailant. The mask worn by the killer also obscured his identity, making it difficult to create a reliable composite sketch. Multiple suspects, but no convictions. Over the years, several individuals were investigated, but none were definitively linked to the crimes. U.L. Swinney. A known car thief and career criminal, Swinney became the prime suspect after his wife implicated him in the murders. However, her testimony was inconsistent, and spousal privilege laws prevented her from testifying against him in court. No physical evidence linked Swinney to the crimes. Other suspects, several other individuals, were investigated but were ultimately cleared due to alibis or lack of evidence. Media sensationalism and public pressure. The case attracted significant media attention, which may have hindered the investigation. The pressure to solve the case quickly led to tunnel vision and potentially overlooked leads. Mobility of the killer. It's possible the killer was a transient individual who left Texarkana after the murders, making it difficult to track them down. Some theorize that the Phantom Killer may have been responsible for similar unsolved murders in other areas. Fear and silence in the community. The terror instilled by the Phantom Killer may have led some potential witnesses or informants to withhold information out of fear of reprisal. Legacy of the Phantom Killer. The Texarkana Moonlight Murders remain one of the most chilling unsolved cases in American history. The Phantom Killer's identity has inspired numerous theories, ranging from the killer being a local with a vendetta to a drifter passing through the area. The case's unresolved nature continues to fascinate true crime enthusiasts, and the fear it instilled in the community has left an indelible mark on Texarkana's history.